recording. All right. And going to attempt to share my PowerPoint right now. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Yay. All right, so the title, tonight's training is all about Facebook ads, and I am going to do some screen sharing of actual ads that I use in the Ads Manager, but I'll start out with some slides. So just as an intro, what's the reason to do Facebook ads? We all know that bringing new people into our network, whatever that means, making new friends, that is essential to the success of this business. And we've got to do it one way or another. So Meg Basinski always talks about how when she first started out as a coach in 2009, how she would always go in Facebook groups and spend hours just reading what people posted and trying to figure out who was on her wavelength to strike up a conversation with. So, that takes a lot of time. So the way Facebook ads work, we can use targeting to identify our ideal customer and use the ads to target them. And essentially it brings people to you instead of you having to chase them. So if you're someone who does not have a lot of spare time, then you can spend some money on Facebook ads. It's always either time or money. You've got to invest one or the other to grow your business. And hopefully with this training, and you can always ask me questions, ask Bridget questions too, and Meg is really good about that too, but there are a lot of resources to make sure that you have a strategy for your Facebook ads and that you're not throwing money away, so that the money that you are spending is a good investment that comes back to you. So things to know before you get started with Facebook ads. It's not a quick process, so you need to have a strategy, and that's a lot of what I'm going to be going over in this presentation. But just kind of doing a random ad here and there is probably not going to get you very far, because you have to test some things out and compare them to each other when you're first starting out to find out what works for you. And then once you have something that works, then you put more money into that. So for example, I'm doing a webinar about the coaching opportunity, and I am targeting people in the UK where we're opening this fall. And to test which ad is working the best for my webinar sign up, I'm actually testing 12 different ads to see which one does the best. And then I'm going to put more money into the one that does the best. So I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it's really, really cool when you get one ad set up that just works awesome. And then you can just whenever you need some more people to come in, you click activate, and then you can turn it off and turn it on and off, and you just know that it's going to work. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So just remember, we all start at zero. My page right now has over 8,000 people, and that's something I remember when I had 800 people, it felt like a ton of people. So just remember that I started, wherever you are, I've been there, and I was at zero at one time too. And I know I just said that you don't want to throw money away, and you won't if you have a strategy, but sometimes, if you try an ad for $5 or $10 or $20 and it doesn't get you very much, it feels like you threw money away. But actually, as long as it's part of a strategy, you learn something. You learn, okay, this is something that doesn't work, and let me try something else. So this is something I got from Sarah Dan. She's, you're in her group, right? The Unstoppable Women Entrepreneurs.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so she's a business coach who specializes in helping Beachbody coaches, and I just think it's helpful sometimes to get outside of the Beachbody world. She's kind of the best of both worlds, that she understands so well what we do, but she has an outside perspective. So it's one thing to listen to all the Beachbody coaches tips on Facebook ads, and I think we should all do that. But I also recommend like Amy Porterfield too. There's a lot of people who have trainings, both, you know, free and paid, on Facebook ads, and get out there and hear what other people are saying. Because when we just all talk to each other, sometimes we hear the same things over and over, and you might be missing, you know, this is a world that changes really fast, the world of Facebook ads. So stay plugged in to kind of external influences outside Beachbody. And then whenever you pick up tips, share them back with the team. But it's something that I'm just always learning, and there's always more to learn. Stop me along the way if you have any questions at all. So really basic, I hear a lot about people, you put a lot of work into creating an ad and then it gets rejected. Has that happened to you ever?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know why it was?
I'm pretty sure it was right around when they changed where you couldn't have certain weight loss photos. You couldn't have
Before and afters.
You couldn't do before and afters, but what specifically it was about the number of inches lost. That was what they specifically went.
Yeah. And I didn't put before and afters on here, but that's another one. And I've even heard it where, like, you know, if someone does that like app where you put like 2 or 3 of you and it's the same picture, but you have to keep in mind that most of this process is actually automated. So if it sees 2 people side by side, it's going to assume it's a before and after, and it's going to get rejected. So don't use pictures like that, even if it's not really a before and after. But that's a good point. So all of these are kind of the like really basic, most obvious reasons that something might get rejected. And I've sometimes gotten things through, and I've seen ads that are sponsored that are being served up to me. They had all of these things, like rules are made to be broken, right? People sneak by somehow. But if you are new, I think the system is less forgiving. I think if you're someone who's spent a whole bunch of money already, you can get away with more. So especially when you're new at this, like, just keep these rules in mind and just don't push the boundaries. So no more than 25% text on your picture. So if you have like a text box, or even like I had a Sean Week video, and when I picked for this, it lets you pick out which still you want, like which screen grab for when the video stops playing. When I picked the one that said Sean Week, it had too much text, even though that's in the video, but whatever you use for the still can't have text. So it comes through in weird ways. So just make sure the text is not covering more than 25% of your photo. And if it says, like, you know, Beachbody in the background on, you know, if it's a super trainer on stage or something like that, even that would still count. And then don't mention weight loss. There are certain like words, again, it's automated. It'll just like trigger the red flag, and that's it. Having too much skin showing is one that I've heard of, but then I've seen ads of, you know, someone in a sport bra with the whole belly showing, and who knows, but, you know, again, like, I wouldn't push it. So a big one, pretty much if you say women in your ad, from what I can tell, it'll get rejected. So don't say I'm looking for 10 women for my challenge group. And then don't use the phrases do you or are you. Again, this is one where Sarah Dan, the coach I just mentioned, like, her ad says, are you a Beachbody coach? Whatever. So obviously some people get away with it, but this is one of the biggest ones that I've seen where people's ads are rejected. Like, do you want to lose 10 pounds? Like, do not start your ad that way. You could say, I'm looking for people who want to slim down for summer, or something like that. You know, that still might get rejected as being related to weight loss, but it's like less, you know, hit them over the head with it. So, and then also like an alternative is sharing about your own experience, saying, I mean, I still wouldn't do this, but like, if you really wanted to talk about weight loss, you could say, I mean, I lost 10 pounds in the last 30 days or whatever, but when you're talking about your own experience versus addressing it to the person who's reading it, is more likely to get through. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So 3 types of ads. So basically, these are the 3 types that I've used over and over again. And I thought for this workshop that it would just be helpful for you, and I assume some people will be watching the replay if the recording takes. Um, um, I thought it would be useful for you guys to just see what I actually do. You know, there's so many options when you go into Ads Manager. It can be hard to know what to choose, where to start. You know, there are all these different objectives, like what does that ad actually look like if you work backwards, like which objective did it start with? So I'm going to show you the 3 that I use. So the first one is a boosted post. So that's where, you know, when you post something on your like page, you see that boost option on every single post. That's all that is. I'll say more about each one as we go through. The second one is a lead form. That's where you're collecting emails. And I don't know if you know this, but Facebook actually has that as one of its ad types. It's not one that I see very much, but it's worked really well for me. So I'm going to show you. And then the last one is an ad for page likes. And this is pretty much how I've grown my page. I've gotten all the followers on my page, targeted followers. So those are the 3 that I use the most. Okay. Here's where we're going to get into the screen share. So let me stop sharing and then get into my web browser. I'm going to show you my list of audiences. Let's see. Okay, so this is the Ads Manager now. Okay, 192 campaigns is what I have. Oh, wait, I need to share again. Sorry, share screen. Okay, can you see Ads Manager now?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of campaigns. It's kind of overwhelming even to me. Let's go to the audiences screen though for a second. Oh, actually, shoot, let me go back. There's one thing I wanted to point out. Okay, look at these at the top. So these are all of my campaigns from the last 30 days. And just look at the very top one is something different. But then these 4 were the same type of post. And look at the different prices per post engagement. So this is what I'm talking about with the testing. So you figure out which one works the best. Now what's interesting is they had different cost per engagement, but then it was different again with how many people signed up for the webinar. So just because they're reading your ad doesn't mean they're taking that call to action. So you've got to look at both. But it's really cool. I see it as an experiment and I just kind of like geek out about it. So audiences. Okay. So this is all of my saved audiences. I don't want to spend too much time here and get bogged down in it, but so if you go, this is just some of these I was just playing around with. Like this bottom one was like, oh, these are things I like. The Bachelor and Starbucks and Victoria's Secret. And, you know, that one actually strangely worked kind of well for me, even though it's very, very general, which is like the opposite of what they tell you to do. So if you go down here, eating disorder recovery, infertility, anxiety, and depression, those 3 are the main ones that I've used to grow my page. So if you look at the audience size, 6 million, 2.4 million, 7 million. That's actually a little bigger. I didn't know this then, but the advice is that it should be like between 500,000 and 1 million is the size that you're targeting with your ads. So, but like I said, the bigger ones have worked well. Now, if you go up for a second to freelance writers, see how it's only 11,000? So that basically, you know, Facebook just took whoever has freelance writer listed as their occupation, and that was that audience. So it's only 11,000 people. I'm sure there's more freelance writers, but they just, that's not how they list their occupation. But I was like, oh, well, let me just try that. But it really didn't work well. So what I look for is when it's bringing likes to my page, the cost per like should be 25 cents or less. So if you're testing your ads and you're not getting likes for that price, then don't continue putting money into it. And with freelance writers, it was like over $1 per like. So, you know, it wasn't working. And I think it was because the audience was too small. Okay, and then going up, these are all saved audiences. I'll show you how to create these, but country music, I created that one when Country Heat was coming out. Martial arts was for Core de Force. Basically, I was targeting people who had like similar interests. You know, not necessarily people who were into Beachbody already, but people who like country music, people who like martial arts, and UV2. I did that. And then the ones at the top are targeting different demographics just in the UK. Those are ones I made more recently. And you can see the sizes, like this top. I'll show you how I created this one. 490,000. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. Oh yeah, before I leave this screen, okay, this lookalike audience. So now, once your page gets to a certain size, I think it might be 1,000, or at least it used to be, but those things can change. But when you're creating an audience within Ads Manager, it will give you an option to create a lookalike audience for your page. And once you check that you want to start creating it, it takes some time to build. And I think it's like, it's observing the demographics of the people who are active on your page. And then it pulls in people who match those demographics, like gender, age, interests, and it doesn't actually tell you what it's using, but it's a really cool thing to have, because then, you know, you can exclude people who already like your page, but when you want to attract new followers, you just use that lookalike audience and it pulls people in who are very similar to the people who already like your page. So pretty cool, right? By the way, do you know how to get to the Ads Manager as just like step one? I realized I didn't show that.
Yes, I do know that from when I played.
So it's just on your news feed. It's just on the left. It should be there in that like main column on the left, just for the benefit of anyone who's not here. There's also an Ads Manager app that I find helpful. I don't know if you can create ads in it. I wouldn't. That would be kind of annoying to do that, but it's good for monitoring ads that you have running. Okay, let me just show you one quick thing here. So let me look at this eating disorder recovery one. So I just noticed this. This is something new, this warning. Some of the detailed targeting selections you originally used are no longer available. They won't show up in this audience's targeting, but the associated ads will still deliver to the original audience. However, you'll be unable to use these detailed targeting selections if you edit this audience or try running future ads with it. So the best I can tell what that means is, and based on what I have been trying with the UK audience, so this is just Canada and US, and you can see interests: body positive, body image, or nutrition. And I excluded people who like my page. So as I recall, when I was making this audience to start with, it had things like bulimia and anorexia and compulsive overeating, where it's like, that's weird that Facebook would know that about someone. But if they have that information, I'm going to use it and target people in recovery. And it's been taken out, and I think that's probably a good idea. But this audience has worked well for me in terms of getting likes at 25 cents each or less. So I'm just not going to mess with it. I'm not going to add the UK. I'm just going to make a new separate audience for that. So that's why I have this one, US and Canada. I don't want to make any changes. So I have a separate, this one here, eating disorder. I should say eating disorder recovery. I don't want people with active eating disorders. But that's kind of what I was going for. Yeah. You know, it's one of my niche markets because it's something that is in my own experience. Or I guess I should have explained that. The depression and anxiety, infertility, those are kind of my own experiences that I try to connect with people on. You know that already, but for other people watching this video. Okay, let me just, I don't know if I can do this. What if I click over to PowerPoint? Do you see PowerPoint now? Or do you still see the web browser?
Still see the web browser.
Okay. I'm just looking at my presentation to remind myself what's going on. Okay, the Audience Insights tool. So So, okay, do you see that menu at the left now? Are you still seeing what I'm doing?
Yep.
Okay. So this, when you click these three bars, it's going to show you the things that you use the most frequently or that you use most recently. If you want to go to all tools, it'll show you everything. So that's just the basic navigation of Ads Manager. Audience Insights is something that I'm just starting to use, so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. I just want you to know that it's there and a little bit about how to use it because it's pretty cool. Pick everyone on Facebook, and then you can put, I'm not gonna, so I would put in Canada and the UK, I would pick the age and pick the gender. Well, let me do that. Let's just say, I don't know, 25 to 35. Ugh, this is gonna take too much time. I just wanna show you real quick though, because it's really cool. Yeah, so I just have it as US, so I would put other countries, but say, so if I want to find, so say that I thought, like if I have a lot in common with, oh gosh, now I'm like drawing a blank. So my target market are people who like to shop at Lululemon. So if I just put that as an interest, it's going to show me what those people, women 25 to 35 who like Lululemon, what else, which tells me a lot about their demographics. Looking at the page likes, then I can see some other things that I might put as interests in my targeting. This is all very general because Lululemon is a big page. Now, some of the examples that I've seen have like a lot more specific pages here. So if you want to use this, I'd play around with it for a while. But if you can find something with a smaller audience that's still listed here as something to target, it just can give you some ideas. So that's the Audience Insights tool. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Back to ads. Okay. I'm just looking at my presentation. I'm not going to mouse over to it because I'm going to go right back to my web browser in a second. Okay, boosted post. Really, really simple. So when this loads, do you see Living Vibrantly?
Yep.
Okay. Just going to go to the main page. I'm not going to actually boost anything, but I'll just talk you through it real quick. So the button is on every single post. I was using this for a while to boost events, like when I would have an event for a challenge group. So like this thing here is my nutrition group for this month. I totally would have just, well, okay, because it's the pinned post, there's no button on it. But I would have just clicked boost for that. This is being really slow, but you get the idea. So I had pretty good luck with boosting, there it is, with boosting events. And I would just do it to either just followers of my page or followers and their friends. You know, here's where you can pick the lookalike audience if you have one, or you can pick all of your saved audiences. So this is what you just saw when I showed you all my saved audiences. So basically, whoever you want to target to, do it as a saved audience first, and then it'll be available whenever you're boosting a post. But again, I usually just do, well, okay, so for an event, I would do people who already like my page and maybe their friends, because like a friend of a friend, you know, that's reasonable. They might have seen me before. So if I'm boosting a challenge group or something paid, or like, you know, the coaching opportunity, I'm not going to boost it to my cold market. People who've never heard of me, they're not going to sign up to be a coach on my team. I had a pretty good degree of success with, you know, I wouldn't get a challenge pack sale specifically from this, but somebody might click going to the event and then it starts a conversation. And I had multiple people who they would click going like month after month after month, and they would never join, but eventually after maybe 6 months they would. So they kept seeing these, they kept thinking the program looked good. A lot of times people, it's not really obvious until, they click through that it's a program that costs money, and a lot of people don't click through to read the details. So they might not realize. But then when you have a conversation, then they do realize, and they start to think, okay, maybe I can do this later. So it actually was working pretty well for me. But like I said, I've been working with Sarah Dan a little bit, and other people have said this too, that they recommend boosting things that are free, and then you bring in a lot of people for that free program, you build a relationship, and then you sell to them instead of trying to sell to people you've never worked with at all. Right. So I'm just trying that approach a little more now. So if I'm boosting a post, it would probably be a post about a free program. And for that one, I have been doing a lookalike audience and boosting to that. So people who don't like my page yet, but they're similar to people who do, and it's something free I want to pull them in with. So they, it's either an event, or usually it's a free group, and they join the group. That's the call to action. And what I'm getting is, a lot of people will join the group, but a lot of people will also click like page that you see right here while they're at it. So I'll show you my ad for page likes, but one of the other most effective things, it's almost like a side effect. I've been getting a lot of people who like my page, even though that's not the main call to action on this ad. The call to action is going to be, join my free group. Right. But it can also be a way to grow your page, is my point. Any questions about the boosted post before I move on?
Nope.
Okay. The lead form, maybe I will do last because it will probably take the most time. So page likes ad. I'm going to show you my examples. Like I said, this is not one that you hear people talk about very much anymore. It used to be a lot more popular when I got into coaching, but I've just been using them for the last 2 years and they work. So why not? Getting more new people on your like page, seeing your posts that haven't been before. And then it's new people, to boost to when you're choosing people who already like your page. So I still advocate this. Now let me see if I can find these. So you see how, like these guys, they all have the blue buttons showing that they're on. So that was something where like the time ran out on the campaign. So it's still technically on. I don't know if that's actually, it doesn't make sense, but then there's some that I toggle on and off that run continuously. So these are the gray buttons here that you see. And that's where my page likes are. So the blue button, I would have to add budget to reactivate it. The page likes, I think I have it set for like $10 a day. And whenever I turn it on, it just starts again. So let's see, which one do I want to show you? Let's look at the eating disorder recovery one. And I don't even remember completely what I have in here. So if I click on the ad set, you keep clicking down to the bottom level, then it's actually going to show me the ads themselves and what they look like, to somebody viewing them, if it ever loads. Come on. Okay. Well, that only has one image. So, so normally I'm going to show you a different one, but just to explain, I recommend picking 6 images because that's the max it allows. You can compare the performance of the different images, and then you can delete the ones that aren't working as well. And usually Facebook will kind of do it for you where it stops serving to the ones, okay, we'll look at anxiety and depression. So the ones that are not working as well, it will just stop delivering. But for whatever reason, it was still delivering those for like $1 a page like, and I didn't want that, so I just deleted them. But okay, so see all these really different images. And because I haven't run this in the last 30 days, you can't see how they're performing. But this woman on the swing always does the best. Like out of all these images, and I think I can show you I don't know. I wanted to show you the text I have with this too. This is changing, like, this just always changes. So I don't know how to see the text. Usually it shows up. Let's preview. There we go. Okay, fitness and nutrition to help you kick anxiety and depression to the curb. This is what the ad looks like. Now, out of all these 6 images, would you really guess that the woman on the swing would be the most effective at drawing people in? I would never have guessed that. So I just picked, like, really going with my gut. I might have put in, I don't even remember what I put in, but you can put in fitness, you can put in nutrition, you can put in wellness in the stock images. And I want to show you real quick how to do this, like what I'm talking about real quick. And hopefully we won't run out of time. But so anyways, you pick 6 images based on kind of, what feels good to you, and some that are pretty different from each other, and then just see which one performs the best with the text that you write. Okay, I'm going to create this type of ad real quick, and hopefully I can get to the lead forms too. So the way that you, for page likes, there it is. Okay, under engagement. See this, they have moved this around. So page likes is under engagement. It's a subcategory. Now I use Ads Manager. I don't use the Power Editor because you have to, from the Power Editor, you have to export, and it's another step, and I just don't want to mess with it. And they're bringing a lot of the Power Editor features in to the regular Ads Manager. So the only thing I'll say is, I don't know if, because I haven't used it, the Power Editor, there might be a little more flexibility. This one, the step that I just did where you pick the objective, you can't change it without starting all over. Ew. So yeah, and there's no, So if you see how, if I pick traffic, I can do a split test, and I can test different strategies. So engagement, page likes doesn't let you do that. I don't know why, but if you don't pick the right objective, you have to start all over. There's no way to like save your work and change the objective. So that's the only way that, this is not ideal. Just make sure you pick the right one starting out. Okay, all my saved audiences are in here. So, if you've created your audience, or you can create a new one. And I'm not going to do that right now because of time, but it's just all the targeting. You've heard this before. There's other videos on it. When you get it just how you want it, then click Save This Audience, and that's going to put it on your list of saved audiences for later. Okay, now on this screen, click Edit Placements. I don't know why this is showing. Okay, I guess, oh yeah, so this is an ad for Facebook page likes. So it's not going to post to Instagram or the audience network, but most ads, you'd want to uncheck these. So, if you're writing an ad for Facebook, it's just probably not going to be as effective on Instagram. You would want to write an ad specifically for Instagram if you want to advertise on Instagram. And audience network is like, how sometimes when, I've been reading like a news article, and I have, video call from Bridget. Oh, okay. I'm going to call her back. Anyways, audience network, I've been reading an article and seen like an autoplay video of Anita Myron talking in the middle of my news article.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just weird. Like, that's not what you're expecting. Like, I'm not going to watch that video. I don't know, maybe it works for her, but I uncheck audience network if it's an option. Mm-hmm. And then setting your budget, and you can set a start and end date, or you can run it continuously. Let's see if it just lets me continue, even though my audience was completely blank. Okay. This is what I want to show you, the free stock images. Okay. So basically, you can type in whatever is related to the topic of your ad, and it just comes up with stock images that are free, and you pick 6 that you like. You can spend a while looking at these. There's tons of them. But then whatever 6 you pick, it's going to serve them up with whatever text you write. and I'm not going to get into how to write the text. That's a total different workshop. But just know that those stock ads are there and they've been working really well for me. Okay, let's see if I can get through lead form before we get kicked off. Okay. So just going back to Ads Manager and discarding my work. So I always start by this create ad button in the green in the upper right. I have a million different campaigns, and I know there's ways to like create different ads within the same campaign, but I just always start over. That's just how I do it. So, okay, lead generation. I want to show you because this is really cool. So let's just see. Just use a saved audience because I'm trying to do this fast. So I did one for Sean Week, actually. I think that was the last one I did. We downloaded it on Instagram. I'm going to put it at 5 just in case I activate it by accident. Okay. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys how to put in a video too. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, really quick. So have you ever seen, I noticed it first with 22-minute hardcore where people had like the actual Beachbody promo video for the program, and it's like a beautiful full screen video. And I was like, how did they get that in their ad? So this is how. You have to find it on YouTube. So like you can find, you know, the official Shift Shop promo video here, and you can download it. You actually go to the page. I'm not going to click on it because I don't want it to play. You copy the link to the YouTube page, and then you paste it on this site. It's called savefrom.net. Okay, maybe I'll show you real quick. Well, because it's not showing, like, it's going to show a different screen. Results in okay. So wait till it loads. Okay, so you don't have to do the HD version. Just do like whatever the best, nope, whatever the best is that it lets you do for free. Dang it. I know I can do this for free. I've done it before. No, I don't want an MP3. Okay, you might have to ask me questions about this offline.
Okay.
But anyways, you can basically download any video from YouTube, and it's not going to be high res, but oh, this is what it is. If you're okay with slower download speed and limitations on file formats, download video in browser, and then click download. Yeah, okay. So I just downloaded it again because I already did this before. So then it's going to be in my downloads folder, and then I can upload it to this ad. So really cool, right? And the way I see it, and you know, plenty of coaches do this too, that these are ads that Beachbody puts so much money into for us to use. So, you know, why not use them? Especially if it's a program that you are really excited about promoting, put it in your ad. I mean, there's a place for a picture of you. That's the other thing I was going to say. So all those stock photos for a page likes ad, I think it's okay to not have your own face because people don't know you anyway if they don't like your page yet. Just use the stock photos and they're going to get to know you. And that's when, you know, if you're doing a boosted post from your page for your challenge group, that should be a picture of you. So that's how I see the distinction. I'm targeting cold traffic. It doesn't matter if I put a picture of me because they don't know me anyway. Okay, for this video ad, is this going to just take way too long? I don't want us to get kicked off. Dang it. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to upload this, and I can still work on this while it does that. Okay, so let's just say headline, shift shop, text. I'm not going to really do this because I just want to show you kind of the point of the ad. So for my website, I don't know. This is going to all preview in a second when the video loads. But okay, so basically, oh, here we are at the bottom. Okay, so you write your text to go with the video is basically what it is that I put in those fields. But then, so assuming people see the video and they click, this is what they're going to see, this interest form. Now, I obviously would write one specifically for Shift Shop. I'm just going to duplicate Sean Week and start with that. And this is what it looks like. So this is what they see on the right. This is what I did for Sean Week. It has the Sean Week banner, it has my picture, name of my page, and copy that I wrote. Some of it was from the FAQ. Just telling them about it, who it's for, enter your name and email address to receive the details. And this was for the Beachbody On Demand free trial and Sean Week challenge group. And then I tell them to add my address to their address book so it doesn't go to spam. You can upload an image, obviously, to replace a Sean Week banner. Okay, so that's the first screen, and then call to action, you can edit that to, yes, please send me the details. Okay, and then you can decide what questions you want. I keep it really simple. This was first name, email, well, first name, last name, email. I don't know why it's in that order. First name, email, last name. For some of the other programs, I would ask, like, why are you interested? How do you think this will help you? But I still keep it pretty short so they're not spending like 20 minutes filling out this form just to get information. The one thing to know is it requires you to link to some sort of privacy policy. So I have a website and I had to actually like put up a privacy policy page on my website. So if you don't have a website, I'm not really sure if you could like link to Beachbody's privacy policy and if it would allow that. I don't know if that would get approved, but just know that you have to put something in that space. And then the thank you screen, you can also edit. But so, okay, the very last piece of this, I can't believe I haven't gotten kicked off yet. Just want to show you real quick. Okay, so you're collecting your leads. Basically, it's collecting email addresses. You can go in that Ads Manager app and see how many emails have come in. And it's really cool to watch. And then the way that you download them, you have to do it, I think it's 30 days, and it's in Publishing Tools, which kind of makes no sense. On your page, under Publishing Tools, and here you see where it says lead ads forms. Click on that. And yeah, okay, 90 days before they expire. So you just have to remember to go in, because I think once they're expired, you can't download them anymore. So you have to go in and I'll just show you. So if you check it, download, it's going to export an Excel sheet. So then when you get your Excel sheet, you have to still email those people. It doesn't email them automatically for you. That's the only downside of it, but still a pretty cool way to gather emails, right?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why it's only showing one person. I don't know what happened there. Oh, maybe it's just one that came in after I downloaded everything else.
Ooh, maybe.
Weird. Anyway, I should have gotten an Excel sheet with all of them, but maybe because I downloaded them before. But so what I do, I have MailChimp. It's free. So I would import from that Excel sheet then into MailChimp. And then I can do a mass email without emailing them one by one. I definitely recommend that, you know, in building an email list over time versus, but, you know, you can, if you only get like 5 leads, you can go into Gmail and send them a message one by one.
Right.
So, you know, there are services like I actually have something called Lead Pages. It's $300 a year that does basically this same thing. But the conversion rates are really, really good within Facebook. I think because you're not clicking to another website. And, you know, when it goes to another website, people are like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? And it's just super like user friendly that it's still within Facebook. All right. So, I feel like I've been like screaming through this presentation, trying not to get kicked off.
This is amazing.
But that's pretty much the end. Did that make sense? Do you have any questions? I know I went through it really fast.
You did go through it fast, but you covered everything in a way where if I was to go play around with it right now, I'd get how to do it now.
Okay, good.
So just staring at it like this.
Good, because I feel like I kind of panicked and I was like, oh, I'm just going to leave this blank, but I've hopefully got the relevant steps. Okay, cool. I have no idea why it's not, maybe because I'm recording, maybe it doesn't kick you off when you're recording. I'm going to stop recording. We'll see what happens.